The girl from booth 11th rain came down in thin silver sheets, soft and steady, as KeanuReeves pulled his hoodie tighter and stepped into the small roadside diner just off the highway. It was the kind of place with flickering neon signs, cracked red booths, and the smell of burnt coffee always lingering in the air. He wasn't hiding, exactly. But he wasn't looking to be seen either. The past few weeks had been heavy grief over a lost friend, another movie wrap that felt empty, and that quiet ache he never seemed to shake. All he wanted was a simple meal, maybe some peace and silence. A bell above the door jingled as he walked in. The waitress behind the counter didn't look up right away. She was pouring coffee for an old man at booth 2, smiling politely, but with tired eyes. There was something about her, something familiar. But Keanu couldn't place it. He slid into booth 11 in the corner, the farthest from the windows. It was warm, quiet, safe. A few minutes passed before the waitress walked over, flipping her notepad and chewing her pen. "Morning," she said gently. "Coffee?" He nodded. Then she looked up and froze, her breath caught. Her pen fell. Keanu noticed the shift immediately. He offered a soft, calm smile. "You okay?" She stared at him. Not in a fan-crazed way. Not in a starstruck daze. It was something deeper. Something broken open. "Keanu?" She whispered. He blinked. His name, spoken like that. Not with excitement, but with memory. He tilted his head. "Have we met?" She swallowed hard. "It's me. It's Lily. From the shelter." He stared at her. And then, like a sudden wave crashing against the rocks, it all rushed back. A girl with wild curls and scraped knees. A boy with sad eyes and a cracked cassette player. The children's shelter on the edge of the city. He was 9. She was 7. They shared sandwiches, shared stories, shared secrets whispered under blankets during storms. He hadn't heard her name in decades. "Lily," he said slowly, almost like tasting something for the first time in years. "Lily Ramirez?" She nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. Keanu leaned forward, heart pounding. How are you here? I didn't even know where you went." "They moved me," she said, voice trembling. "Foster homes. New names, new towns, but I never forgot you. Never." Keanu swallowed hard. His chest tightened. "I never forgot either. I kept the drawing you made me, the one with the stars and the dog." She laughed through tears. "You still have that?" "In a box at home." A silence settled between them, thick with emotion, full of memories that never got to grow up. "You became everything we dreamed of," she said softly. "You made it out." He looked down. "Not without bruises." She looked around nervously. "I should get back to work. The manager, he's strict." He nodded. "I'll wait." For the next hour, she served coffee, wiped tables, refilled ketchup bottles. But every time she passed his booth, they shared a look, a quiet connection. Unspoken, but loud. And then something happened. A customer in a suit walked in, loud, arrogant. Entitled, "I want that table," he barked, pointing at Keanu's booth. Lily walked over calmly. "Sir, that table's taken." "By who?" The man snapped. She glanced at Keanu. "Just someone having breakfast." "He looks like a bum," the man said, laughing. "Move him." Keanu stood slowly. "It's fine," he said. "I can." "Sit somewhere else." "No," Lily said, stepping between them. "You're not moving." "Excuse me." The customer barked. "You heard me," she said, voice shaking but steady. "He's staying." The man stared at her, stunned. "Do you even know who I am?" "Do you?" she asked, pointing to Keanu. "Do you know who he is?" The man turned, studied Keanu, and his face went pale. "Mr. Reeves?" He stammered. I didn't realize. I thought." Keanu raised a hand. "It's okay. I'm just here for breakfast. No trouble." The man stuttered, backed away, and left. Lily exhaled. "Well, Guess I'm getting fired. Not on my watch, Keanu said, reaching into his coat. He pulled out a business card, wrote his private number on the back, handed it to her. Meet me after your shift. She nodded, unsure what to say, when she returned to his booth later. Hours after the sun had dried the rain, her hands were trembling again. Her apron was dirty, her eyes red. I don't want anything, she said quickly. I'm not here to ask. I know, he replied. But I am. She looked confused. He continued. I want to ask what happened to you after the shelter, after they took you. Because I remember a brave girl who gave away her blanket in winter, and I need to know where she went. Lily sat down, fingers knotted. My first foster home was okay. The second wasn't. After that, I ran. By 15, I was on the streets. Worked at a gas station, then a laundromat. Never enough to dream. And now, I work doubles to keep my sister in school. She's 16. Lives with me. I promised her she'd have a better life. Keanu stared at her, stunned. You're raising your sister? I had to, she said. No one else would. He leaned back, overwhelmed. You remember what we used to say? Lily asked suddenly. What? That if one of us made it out, we'd come back for the other. His eyes filled. She smiled sadly. Looks like you did. He reached across the table and took her hand. Then I'm keeping my promise. She shook her head. Keanu, you don't have to. I want to. And then he said something that made her cry without shame. I'm not here as a movie star. I'm here as the boy you gave your last cookie to. And I never forgot what that meant. But just as they stood to leave, a shadow appeared at the door. A man, cold eyes, dark jacket, staring straight at Lily. Her face went pale. Keanu noticed. Who is that? She whispered. He's from my past. The man stepped forward. Slowly, and everything changed. Ghosts never knocked twice. Matt at the diner door didn't move fast, but his presence shifted the room like a sudden cold wind. He wore a black jacket zipped up to his chin, a baseball cap low over his eyes, and scuffed boots that left muddy prints behind. KeanuReeves watched Lily's face carefully. Her breath hitched. Her shoulders stiffened. Who is he? Keanu asked softly. His name's Russell, she whispered. He was my second foster dad. Keanu's eyes narrowed. The one who? She nodded before he could finish. He found me once before. 2 years ago, I told him to leave, but he just stood there. Smiled like it was a game. Keanu looked at Russell, who was now walking slowly between booths, heading straight for them. Customers went quiet. Even the clinking of coffee cups paused. Something about Russell's energy made people want to disappear. Stay behind me, Keanu whispered to Lily. Russell stopped at their table and smirked. Well, he said, his voice gravelly. Ain't this sweet? You always were good at making new friends. Keanu stood, eyes steady. You need to leave. Russell ignored him. Been looking for you, Lily. You ran out owing me, remember? Lily's fists clenched under the table. I don't owe you anything. Oh, I think you do, he said, pulling a worn notebook from his coat pocket and tapping it. I kept track. Food, rent, even the blanket you stole when you ran. Keanu's tone hardened. Get out. Russell finally looked at him directly. You think you scare me? With your Hollywood face and your soft words? Keanu didn't blink. No, but the law might. Russell grinned. You don't know who you're talking to. Lily spoke, voice rising. He knows exactly who you are. Russell's smile faded. Before he could speak again, the diner manager came storming out from the kitchen. Hey, what's going on here? Russell shrugged, just catching up with an old friend. The manager looked at Keanu, then at Lily, then at Russell. Double quote, sir. I'm going to ask you to leave. Russell chuckled. Don't worry. I'm leaving. Just wanted to remind this little thief that debts don't vanish. As he turned and walked away, Lily let out a breath she'd been holding. Keanu touched her shoulder. Come on, let's go. They left through the back door, Lily's apron still tied around her waist. Outside, the rain had stopped, but the air was heavy. They walked silently toward Keanu's car. I thought I'd never see him again, she whispered. I prayed. Keanu opened the passenger door for her. He's not going to touch you again. I promise. He used to say promises don't mean anything unless you're rich enough to keep them. Keanu looked her in the eyes. Then let me prove him wrong. Asterisk, asterisk. They drove for an hour until the city lights faded and trees began to line both sides of the road. Finally, they pulled up to a small cabin near a lake, private, quiet, with birdsong in the air. Keanu had bought it years ago for times when the world got too loud. He turned off the engine. You'll be safe here. Lily sat in silence for a moment. I don't want to be a burden. You're not, he said. You never were. Inside the cabin, she changed into a soft hoodie and warm socks he offered. They sat near the fireplace, sipping tea. Eli, Keanu's dog, curled up at her feet. For a while, neither of them spoke. Then Lily asked quietly, Do you ever wonder what would have happened if we stayed in that shelter? Keanu nodded. All the time. I used to believe we were cursed, like anyone who grows up forgotten doesn't get to have a good ending. Keanu looked at her. But here you are. Only because you walked into that diner. No, he said. Because you survived everything and still had kindness in your eyes. She blinked fast, trying not to cry. What now? We find your sister, he said. Lily looked up. How did you know? You mentioned her, Keanu said. You said she was 16 and you worked to keep her in school. Lily nodded slowly. She's with a friend. She doesn't know about Russell. I wanted to keep her safe. Then let's bring her here. Both of you. But what about the media? What if people find out you're helping me? Keanu smiled softly. Let them. The next day, Keanu made calls, lawyers, security consultants, private investigators. All quiet, all trusted. Within 24 hours, Lily's sister Sophia arrived at the cabin. She was small, shy, wearing oversized clothes and earbuds. But when she saw Lily, she ran straight into her arms. I thought something happened, Sophia cried. I called and called. I'm okay, Lily whispered. We're safe now. Keanu watched from the porch, moved. Later, Sophia approached him hesitantly. You're really KeanuReeves? He nodded. My sister said you were her friend. When you were kids, we were more than that, he said. We were family. She looked at him, eyes wide. Thank you for helping her. Thank her, he said. She never stopped protecting you. Asterisk, asterisk, but peace didn't last long. Rosa Tran, a private investigator who had helped Keanu before, called late that night. He's looking for her, she said. Russell? Yes, and he's not alone. Keanu sat up. Who's helping him? A man named Devin Marsh, small-time enforcer. Russell paid him off. They know you've gone quiet, and they're starting to dig. Keanu stood and walked to the window. Can you find out what they want? Already did, Rosa said. Russell doesn't want money. He wants revenge. Keanu's jaw tightened. For what? For exposing him. He had a good thing going: foster money, stolen identities, even trafficking risks. Lily walking away? That was bad for business. You helping her? Even worse. Keanu took a deep breath. So we end it. How? We take it public. Everything. Lily's story, what she's been through, and what he's done. Are you sure? Rosa asked. You'll make enemies. I already have, he said. But I won't let them haunt her again. Asterisk, asterisk. The next morning, Keanu sat with Lily and Sophia by the lake. They skipped stones, drank cocoa, and talked about things they hadn't talked about in years. Memories of the shelter, songs they used to sing, the stars they used to wish on. And then Keanu made an announcement. "I want to tell the world who you are," he said. "Your story, your strength, your truth." Lily looked at him. "You think people will care?" "Yes," he said, "because it's real. And real stories change things." She hesitated, then nodded. "Okay, let's do it." But before they could start the interview, a rock crashed through the cabin window. A note was tied to it. Keanu picked it up. "You tell your story." And the girl disappears again. His hands shook. He looked at Lily and made a vow he would not break. "This ends with justice, not fear." A promise worth protecting. Broken glass on the cabin floor shimmered in the morning light like tiny blades of warning. The note that had come with it still sat on the table, words scribbled in rage and arrogance. "You tell your story." And the girl disappears again. Keanu stood in front of it for a long time, silent, still, his fingers curled slightly, but his voice was calm when he finally spoke. "They're watching us." Lily stood by the window, her arms wrapped tightly around her little sister, Sophia, who hadn't spoken since the rock came flying through the glass. "We should leave," Lily whispered. "No," Keanu said gently, but firmly. "You already spent too many years running. This is where it stops. But what if they find us?" she said, her voice barely a breath. Keanu walked over and knelt in front of her. "They already did, and we're still standing. Now we stand." Louder, Sophia looked up, her voice shaky. "But what if they hurt her?" Keanu turned to her. "They won't, I promise. No one's taking your sister from you again." An hour later, Rosa Tran arrived at the cabin. She stepped out of her black SUV, eyes sharp, tablet in one hand, firearm on her hip. She'd been tracking Russell and the man helping him, Devin Marsh. "They've been seen near a motel just 10 miles from here," she said. "Cheap room, no cameras, fake names." Keanu nodded. "We go to them." Lily froze. "No. If they see you, they already know I'm involved," Keanu said. "But if I show up at their door with a camera, a witness, and questions, they'll make a mistake." "You think you can trap them?" Rosa asked. "I think they're cocky enough to think they can scare me." Rosa sighed. "Then we make it official. I'll wear a wire. You'll go in. We'll record everything." Keanu turned to Lily. "You okay with that?" She nodded slowly. "I'm tired of being scared." That night, Keanu stood outside a dimly lit motel door, the number 6 dangling sideways from its screw. He wore a basic jacket, jeans, and a hidden mic clipped inside his collar. Rosa was parked across the street with her van equipment. Lily and Sophia were safe, locked inside the cabin with 2 trusted guards nearby. He knocked. A pause. Then the door opened. Russell stood there. Same black jacket, same cold eyes. Devin Marsh, taller and younger, leaned against the wall behind him, arms crossed and smirking. Keanu stayed calm. "We need to talk," Russell laughed. "You've got nerve." "No," Keanu said. "I've got truth and backup." He stepped inside. The room smelled like cigarette smoke and sour food. He didn't sit. "Why are you threatening her?" Russell chuckled. "Why do you care?" "Because she's my friend. Because she's raising a sister you would have thrown away. Because what you did to her as a child is still haunting her now." Devin rolled his eyes. "Save the movie speech." Keanu ignored him. "I want you to walk away, disappear, forever." Russell stepped closer. "And if we don't?" Keanu pulled out his phone and played a short recording. Their voices, clear, sharp, captured. Russell's face changed. Keanu continued. "You're already on tape, making threats, confessing to knowing her whereabouts. And if you so much as blink near her again, this goes to the press, to the police, to the world." Russell hissed. "This'll ruin you." "I'm already broken," Keanu said. "But she deserves healing." He turned and walked out. The next morning, Rosa turned the full recording over to the district attorney's office. Within hours, an arrest warrant was issued. By nightfall, Russell was in handcuffs. Devon vanished, but Lily? She stood taller that day. Keanu and Lily sat by the fireplace again. I thought seeing him again would break me, she said. And did it? No, she smiled faintly. It woke me up. Sophia curled up beside her, finally sleeping peacefully for the first time in days. You know, Lily said, we used to play pretend in the shelter. I always said I'd be a dancer. You said you'd become someone the world couldn't ignore. Keanu chuckled. And now you're raising your sister, standing up to monsters, and rewriting your story. And you're still the only person who ever believed in me. Keanu looked at her quietly. You gave me hope when I didn't even understand what hope meant. The room went silent until Rosa knocked. There's something you both need to see, she said. She turned on the TV. News channels had picked up the story. Hollywood actor Keanu Reeves speaks out for childhood friend abused in foster care system, arrest made. Lily stared. Her photo, her name, her voice not hidden anymore. Keanu placed a hand over hers. You ready for what comes next? What comes next? She asked. We give others the courage to speak too. The next few days were filled with calls, messages, letters. People from around the country, women, men, now grown children who had lived through similar nightmares, all saying the same thing. Thank you for telling the story. But just when Lily began to feel peace. A letter arrived. No return address. Handwritten. It said, you told your story, but you never told the full truth. Meet me, alone. Booth 11. Keanu read it twice. Who would? Lily stared at it, her hand trembling. There's only one person who would send that. Who? Keanu asked. She looked up at him. And whispered, my mother. The mother behind the door. The words on the letter burned in Lily's hands like fire she couldn't put out. You told your story, but you never told the full truth. Meet me, alone. Booth 11. Keanu Reeves stood beside her, trying to read her expression. She didn't blink, didn't breathe, just stared at the letter like it was a ghost that had finally found her address. Is it really from her? Keanu asked. Lily single quotes S voice came out flat. She always called it Booth 11. Said it was her lucky number. Used to take me there for pancakes before she disappeared. Keanu looked down at the note again. You haven't seen her in how long? Since I was 10, Lily whispered. The day the state took me. She never came to court, never fought for me, never said goodbye. Then why now? Maybe because I finally spoke up. Maybe because I stopped waiting. Keanu placed the letter on the table and looked her in the eye. You don't have to go. I think I do, she said. Then you're not going alone. The next day. They drove back to the diner. Not the same one where Lily worked, but an older place on the other side of the city, forgotten by most. Booth 11 still sat in the corner, by the window. Torn leather seats, sticky table, a sugar packet wedged into the napkin holder. Lily stepped inside first. Keanu followed, quiet and alert. She scanned the booths. And there, by the window, sat a woman with graying hair pulled into a tight bun, a faded scarf wrapped around her neck, and eyes that looked like they had stopped hoping years ago. Her hands shook around her coffee mug. She looked up. And the moment their eyes met, time folded. Lily, the woman whispered. Lily didn't move. The woman stood slowly. I wasn't sure you'd come. Keanu stepped forward protectively, but Lily raised a hand. It's okay. She approached the booth like someone walking across thin ice. You single quotes re. Alive, Lily said. The woman nodded. I wanted to see you for so long. I just didn't know how. You left me, Lily said, not with anger, but with deep, aching truth. You disappeared. You let them take me. I was sick, her mother said, voice shaking. Mental illness, drugs, and after you were gone, I didn't think I deserved to find you. You didn't even try. Her mother blinked back tears. I did, once. I saw you in a store years later. You were folding jeans. I wanted to speak, but I saw the hurt in your eyes. I thought maybe you were better off. Lily stood frozen. You know who raised me? She asked. A man who beat me, who called me names, who locked me in closets. You weren't there to stop him. I'm sorry, her mother whispered. It's too late for sorry. A pause. Keanu stood nearby, silent, watching. Lily leaned forward, eyes sharp. Why now? Because you're in the news, her mother said. Because people are finally listening, and I wanted to say, I believe you. I'm proud of you. I know that doesn't mean much, but you're wrong, Lily interrupted. Her mother looked up. It does mean something, Lily said softly. But it doesn't fix it. I know. I'm not that little girl anymore. I have a sister now, and I'm fighting for her, for us. Her mother nodded. That's why I came, not to ask anything. Just to tell you I see you. Tears fell from Lily's eyes. I see you too, she said. They didn't hug. They didn't cry in each other's arms. But they sat, in silence, for 5 minutes longer, and that was more than Lily ever thought she'd get. On the drive back, Keanu asked, How are you feeling? Lily wiped her face with her sleeve, like something heavy just got lifted. You? Sure you're okay? Yeah, for the first time. I'm not chasing anything, not even closure. Keanu smiled gently. You closed the door yourself, she nodded, and locked it. Later that night, Rosa Tran returned to the cabin with an update. Russell's bail got denied, she said. And Devin Marsh was spotted in Arizona. FBI might pick him up. Lily didn't flinch. He'll run out of places to hide, Rosa grinned. You're strong now. I'm tired of hiding, Lily replied. Keanu stood nearby, looking at the letter from her mother again. He handed it back to Lily. What are you going to do with it? She looked at the paper. Folded it once. I'm going to keep it. Why? Because I want to remember that not everyone who leaves stays gone. The following week, something unexpected happened. An invitation arrived. A national talk show wanted Lily and Keanu to appear together. Not for drama, not for ratings, but for awareness. They wanted to discuss the reality of forgotten children, foster abuse, and silent pain. Lily hesitated. I'm not a speaker, she said. You don't have to be, Keanu replied. You just have to be you. She looked at him. Why are you doing all this for me? His answer was simple. Because you were the first person who ever looked at me like I was more than broken. The day of the interview, Lily wore a simple blue dress and soft makeup. Sophia held her hand backstage. You look like a hero, Sophia whispered. Lily smiled. You make me one. The interview was raw, emotional, honest. Keanu spoke gently about their childhood, the pain they carried, and the promise they made as children. Lily told her story. The real one. No shame. No fear. Just truth. And when the host asked her what message she wanted to send to girls like her, Lily said one sentence that made the world go still. You don't have to be famous to be free. You just have to believe you matter. The audience stood and clapped for a full minute. Keanu reached over and squeezed her hand. You did it, he whispered. She looked back, tears in her eyes. We did. That night, as they returned to the cabin, they found a package on the doorstep. Inside was a single photo. Blurry, but unmistakable. Devin Marsh, standing outside their diner, watching, waiting. And scrawled on the back were 4 chilling words. Not done with her. Keanu's hands tightened. Sophia stepped behind Lily. And Lily? She stood taller. Then let him come, she said. This time, We're ready. Asterisk the trap in the light, photo of Devon Marsh, felt like a storm wrapped in a simple envelope, quiet on the outside, chaos inside. KeanuReeves stood on the porch, the picture clutched in his hand, his jaw tight. The words on the back rang in his ears like a threat that refused to go silent. Not done with her. Inside the cabin, Lily pulled Sophia close. Rosa stepped forward, studying the photo. He wants us to see him, Rosa said. He's baiting us. This isn't a warning, it's a trap. Keanu didn't flinch. Then we set one of our own. Asterisk by morning, they had a plan. Rosa called in a trusted tech expert, someone who could reroute surveillance through hidden drones and plant motion sensors around the diner, the cabin, and every possible entry point. Keanu arranged for private security, 2 veterans who once guarded diplomats overseas. They were silent, skilled, and loyal, but Lily didn't want to hide anymore. I want to go back, she said. Back where? Keanu asked. To the diner. To work. To live like I'm not scared anymore. Are you sure? If he wants to hurt me, he'll come no matter where I am. But I'm tired of building walls. I'd rather stand in the light. Keanu nodded, respect shining in his eyes. Then we'll light it up. Asterisk 3 days later, Lily returned to the diner. The owner welcomed her back, eyes soft with guilt and apology. The same booth 11 waited in the corner. This time, not as a memory, but as a sign of how far she had come. Keanu sat nearby, disguised, under a cap and hoodie, reading a newspaper. Rosa sat 2 booths over, coffee in hand, pretending to scroll on her phone. It was quiet, too quiet, until the bell above the door rang and Devon Marsh walked in. He didn't smile. He didn't speak. He just looked at Lily like she was still a child, still powerless. But she didn't blink. Table for one? She asked, voice steady. You know why I'm here. Keanu stood, but Lily raised her hand. Let me. She walked up to Devon's table and placed a glass of water in front of him. You followed me once, she said. But back when I didn't know how to fight, but now I do. Devon leaned forward. You think your little TV speech makes you safe? No, she said. The truth makes me safe, and your lies are falling apart. Keanu stepped forward. You're being recorded, he said calmly. There are cameras in every corner. Say one wrong word, and you'll wish you hadn't shown up. Devon smirked. You think I'm scared of you? Rosa walked up next. Double quotes. No, she said. But you're already wanted for stalking, intimidation, and accessory to child endangerment. The FBI flagged you last week. You're not just being watched. You're being hunted. Devon's face changed, and then behind him 2 officers entered the diner, quietly moving in. Mr. Marsh? One said, we need a word. Devon stood slowly, ready to fight. But Keanu moved first. No, he said. You've stolen enough power from people who had none. Devon lunged, desperate, reckless, but the officers tackled him before he reached the counter. Within seconds, he was cuffed. The whole diner watched in stunned silence. As Devon was dragged outside. Lily turned away, not because she was afraid, but because she was done giving him her attention. The manager walked over and whispered, Are you all right? Lily looked around the room, the booths, the faces. Then at Keanu. And nodded. I am now. Asterisk the next day, Keanu, Lily, Rosa, and Sophia met with a group of advocates who had reached out after seeing their interview. Women and men who had also grown up in foster care, who had stories that echoed Lily's. You don't know how much your story means, one woman said, her hands shaking. I thought I was alone. You're not, Lily replied. None of us are. They began working on something together, a foundation, a place for healing, a resource for kids still stuck in systems that forget them. Lily would be its voice. Keanu would fund it. Rosa would protect it. They called it Booth 11. Because sometimes A table isn't just a table, it's where memory lives, where pain turns into strength, and where stories become fuel for change. That evening, Lily stood by the lake, watching the water ripple under the setting sun. Sophia skipped stones beside her. Keanu approached slowly, carrying 2 mugs of tea. "You ever think about how it all started?" he asked. Lily nodded. "A rainy day, a diner. A friend I thought I'd lost." "You never lost me," she smiled. "I know that now." Keanu looked at her seriously. "You saved me too. Not with big gestures, with something small. With remembering me when no one else did." "And you saved me back," she said. "Not by fighting for me, but by standing beside me when I fought for myself." They stood in silence, letting the wind speak. Then Sophia shouted, "Look! A rainbow!" They turned to see it, a faint but perfect arc of color stretching over the trees. Keanu smiled. "Proof of what?" Lily asked. "That after every storm comes light." But the world hadn't heard the last of them, because the foundation wasn't just a name. It was a movement. And one person, one girl who never stopped believing, was about to help others walk out of shadows. Just like she did. Booth 11 becomes a light. It started with a story, a girl, a shelter, a friendship lost and found. But what happened next was bigger than anyone could have predicted. A few weeks after Devin Marsh was arrested and Russell sentenced to 15 years, the newly launched Booth 11 Foundation went public. It wasn't flashy. It didn't have a press conference or a celebrity ribbon cutting. Instead, it had something stronger. It had Lily. KeanuReeves stood beside her as she opened the doors to a small, humble building painted soft blue and white, tucked between a church and a library. Inside were second-hand couches, shelves filled with donated books, a corner stocked with art supplies, a long table for meals, and a room labeled simply, "You are safe here." That room wasn't for sleeping. It was for sitting, talking, healing, for kids who didn't have someone to listen, for teens who ran away, not because they were bad, but because they were broken. "This isn't a shelter," Lily told the local reporter who came. "It's a home in the middle of a storm." The news went viral again. But this time, the headlines weren't about tragedy. They were about hope. Lily Ramirez builds safe haven for kids in foster care, backed by childhood friend KeanuReeves. One afternoon, Keanu sat with a boy named Marco, barely 12, eyes hardened by things no child should see. "They say you're an actor," Marco said, not looking up. "I am." "So why are you here?" Keanu didn't smile. "Because someone once gave me a cookie when I hadn't eaten in 2 days. Marco frowned. "A cookie?" "Yeah," Keanu nodded. "And that person didn't know it would change my life. But it did." "Was it Lily?" "It was." Marco finally looked at him. "She gave me her sandwich." Keanu smiled. "Then she's still doing it." Sophia, now thriving in a new school with a scholarship from the foundation, began leading weekend art classes at Booth 11. "When I draw," she said one day, "it's like my pain doesn't own me anymore." Her drawings filled the walls, bright suns, free birds, hands held together in soft pencil strokes. One visitor came and wept quietly at the sight of them. She had been in the foster system, too, and she said, "I never thought healing could be this gentle." But even as things bloomed, Lily carried a weight inside. One morning, as she sat by the lake with Keanu, she asked softly, "Do you think it ever truly goes away? The fear?" Keanu shook his head. "No, I think it just gets quieter." "How?" "Do you know?" He reached into his coat pocket and pulled out a folded paper. It was old, creased a dozen times, yellow at the corners. "What's this?" she asked. He handed it to her. She opened it. A childish drawing, stars, a dog. A boy with sad eyes holding hands with a smiling girl. her name written in crooked letters. Lily looked up, tears filling her eyes. You kept it. I said I would. She reached over and held his hand. Then maybe some promises really do last. Months passed. The Booth 11 Foundation expanded to 2 more cities. Rosa took over full-time operations, setting up legal defense resources and rapid response teams for kids in trouble. Keanu continued to fund it quietly. No spotlight. No red carpets. Just commitment. And Lily? She became its heart. She didn't speak like a politician. She spoke like someone who had survived the fire and chose to become a candle instead of ashes. She didn't ask for pity. She offered possibility. One day, a girl barely 15 showed up at the doorstep. Bruises on her arm, silence in her mouth. She didn't give her name, just sat in the corner with her arms wrapped around herself. Lily walked over, sat beside her on the floor, and whispered, "Do you want to talk?" The girl shook her head. "Okay," Lily said. "I'll just sit with you then." They sat for nearly 2 hours. No words. But the girl didn't leave. She stayed, ate dinner. Slept in the quiet room. And days later, whispered her name. Hope. Keanu, hearing this, smiled softly. She picked the right place. The story of Booth 11 began appearing in school curriculums. In college essays. In church sermons and advocacy conferences. But Lily didn't care about that. What mattered most were the kids, who came in with silence and left with songs. One evening, as a celebration filled the room with cake and laughter and stories, Lily stood by the window and watched the sun go down. Keanu walked up beside her, holding a mug of tea. "You ever think," he asked, "about what would have happened if you hadn't recognized me in that diner?" She laughed. "All the time. Funny how life works," he said. "No," she replied. "Not funny. Beautiful." Then she turned to him and said something she had never said before. Not when she hugged him, not even when she testified in court, but now, with everything behind them. She looked him in the eyes and whispered, "Thank you for seeing me, Keanu." Didn't reply at first. He just hugged her. And in the quiet of that hug was every promise kept. Every wound turned into wisdom, and every lost child finally coming home. A few months later, a bronze plaque was mounted near Booth 11's front door. It read, "For the ones who were forgotten. For the ones who survived anyway." Founded by Lily Ramirez and KeanuReeves and every year, on the day they met again, Lily returned to Booth 11 at sunrise. She sat in the corner booth, ordered 2 cups of coffee, and waited quietly. Sometimes Keanu showed up. Sometimes he didn't, but the second cup was always warm, because she knew he was always there. In the story, in the fight, in the promise.